Ugh, that looks beautiful. Welcome, everyone. Welcome to Anonnie's Temple. Glory be to the highest creator of all things. Thank you to the angels, ancestors, guides, and guardians who are protecting my energy at this time and in all ways. Glory be to Source One, creator of all things, for the inheritances of my spiritual, physical, material, and psychic gifts and wealths, which continue to grow in all ways of positivity and fulfillment and love. I deliver this message, Most High Divine Creator, that I receive from you with clarity. I receive your messages clearly and intentionally. I deliver the messages with integrity. I feel them with love, and I speak them the truth. And I speak them of their truth. No more second guessing, they're telling me. They're telling me no more second guessing for you. It's not in your space, it's not in your aura anymore. You don't need to second guess yourself at all. Look at how this literally looks like an angel to me. That looks like angelic energy. You have so much positivity and angelic energy that is surrounding you. I'm hearing of the white light, okay? That, like, there's no reason for you to be second guessing yourself anymore. I feel like we're in this time. I'm hearing that we're in the time period of the gods, so to speak. Like, this is the time period to step into the true sovereignty of being the curator of your existence and of your life. And with that comes a lot of, if you want to even frame it this way, it can come with responsibility, but also it comes with playfulness and fun and learning how to play this game that we call life, so to speak. So, y'all, I wanted to go live. It's a bit early. It's a little bit later than when I normally go live. Usually I'll go live, like really, really early, like sometime after midnight or so. But now I feel like it's closer to the sunrise. Yeah, Four of Swords, Ace of Cups, yeah. I put my water. This. So so I woke up maybe about like 30 minutes ago, 30, 45 minutes ago, and I was like scrolling through and I was just like, oh, let me like get some entertainment. Maybe I'll fall back asleep, like whatever. And so I go to click on a tarot reading, and it's from this reader in this channel. Like, I used to be subscribed to them maybe about like 3 or 4 years ago, but then I ended up unsubscribing because it just seemed like the topics of the videos didn't really resonate. And so I saw their channel again, and I was then like popped up on my feed, and so I was like, oh, let me watch this video. And when I tell you, like, I just want to say, like, it's really important to, even with you watching my tarot videos, my readings, like pretty much in every video, I always tell you that your psychic abilities, like your spiritual practices, your spirit guides, and your spirit team, they will tell you what is best. Your highest self knows what is best for you. So with a lot of these tarot readings, I feel like they can be very declarative about like what's going to happen, what people are going through, like what people's like karma is. And I always want to tell you, like, if you watch that channel, you need to know that that's the energy that the reader is seeping in. Like, that's the energy that the reader is swimming in. And so it's like, before you watch these tarot readings, like, do you want to jump into that pool of energy? Or would it be easier or best for you to tap into your own personal reserves, your own spiritual reserves, to find the answer that you're looking for? Yeah, strength card here. Like, strength is built from within. Like, your discernment is not going to grow, I suppose, as quickly as it could if you're constantly relying on an outside source to tailor your discernment. Let me have a bit more water here. And so for this reader in particular, like, I feel like they do a lot of karmic readings. They do a lot of like karmic and like pick a card readings and stuff like that. And so I thought that it would be entertaining. I was like, okay, let me like click on this and see what it's about. And the video was like, what is their karma for hurting you? And so I went to watch the video, and I was just like watching how they were reading the cards, and it was like very off. And you ever like watch a reader and you can tell that they're reading their own situation? And here's the thing, even on this channel that I have with you all, I will always tell you, yeah, this is coming across as a bit personal. Like, one of the precedents I set for this channel is that we are fractals of each other. So of course, all of the divine messages that I receive as the messenger are going to be in some ways a fractal of my own experience and your own experience in some way. But, I feel like some readers, they don't admit to that, or they don't acknowledge that on their channels. And so it's like you'll be sitting there and I'm just like, honey, all of these cards that are coming out don't look anything like the story that you're intuiting from them. And you'll hear them say like, oh, I'm not exactly reading what's off the cards right now. I'm reading this intuitively. And I've said that too. But like, what I think is different is like when they're blatantly reading the cards differently from its meaning. And then they take that meaning and they try to make it fit into like the topic of the video. I'm hearing misplacing readings. Okay. So yeah, so to be honest, like when I was watching it, I could only, and I want to say this literally, like I could only stomach maybe like 15, 20 minutes of the reading. I was like watching it and it was making my stomach turn. And so that was like a symbol that was like a marker for me, like, okay, no, I don't think that this reading is for me. And to be straight up, like I stopped watching this reader because they work with, like, they will outright say like they work with like they give petitions to a lot of like demonic and underworld entities, but not just underworld entities. Like they work with demonic energies. And I think, I've spent so much time outside of wondering what the karma is that people are receiving, because I've spent so much time not even needing to focus on how people have hurt me anymore. You know what I mean? That when I finally watched that reading, I was like, oh, this is making me sick. Like, how does a reader just sit in that energy of like, oh, what's their karma? And then they're sitting there like giggling and laughing at somebody else's suffering. And then like in the next sentence, they'll try to preach being compassionate towards other people. And yet they're like giggling and laughing at someone else's pain. Like you can even tell in the readings that I do, when I see that people are seriously going through some shit, because I actually am feeling the energy, not just reading the cards, but like feeling the energy of like what they're going through. I actually feel bad for them. Like that is something that like I hand over to my ancestors, because I don't like how do I say this here? I don't sit there and relish in the fact that someone else is getting terrible karma. And let me say something about this too. When you have these readers who read about the karma that people are getting and then they say that that person's karma is going to last them for forever, that's a lie. Okay? I'm going to be straight up with you here. We're just doing a bit of a chat before I begin to pull, okay? The nature of reality is that it is always shifting and changing depending on the person's perspective. And as human beings, even with our highest selves and all of that, I would never say that I have the right to declare the end of someone's fate. It's like, how could you take that person's power away from them like that? To declare that their fate is to struggle and to suffer for all of eternity, or their fate is a terminal illness. That's why when I do these readings, I frame it as I'm reading the prophecy. I'm reading what is going to happen based off of the choices and the perception that someone has or a particular energy has at this point in time. But as such, because we all do have free will, the remaining aspects of that prophecy is truly up to us. So I would never look at someone's karma and laugh at them and then say that they're going to be stuck there for forever. You know what I mean? For forever in quotations, for the rest of their life. So y'all, I'm going to be straight up with you. Be mindful about these readers. Okay? Have discernment with their messages as well. Knight of Wands, Queen of Cups. If you're watching a reading and it doesn't make you feel better, it may not be worth your time at this time. Okay? I feel here like I'm hearing like this one, please. Queen of Wands. I'm hearing like a reinforcement loop, so to speak, because one of the ways that you can truly use tarot is not to just read the random prophecy or to watch the random message, but for you to reinforce the timeline that you want to be on, right? Because of our free will, because of the influence that, because of the influence that our perception has on reality. Don't spend hours upon hours upon hours watching those karmic readings, because then that's your perception. Then you're going to create a reinforcement loop for that energy to continue to double back to you. So if there truly is something that you want to manifest in your life, like that relationship, the finances, love, a sense of purpose, increased spiritual connection to yourself and to source, like whatever it is that you want to manifest, watch the readings that affirm what you want. Because that essentially, I feel like what I'm saying here is tarot really is for entertainment, but also it really is divination. So you need to be mindful of the power that you're giving to tarot, because the one true power lies within you and your highest self and source. And if tarot is making you feel any other type of way outside of that, then it's actually taking the power away from you. Mic drop. Okay? Yeah, look. Queen of Pentacles, Queen of Cups. I heard self-sufficiency. We also have the Queen of Wands here, so let's see what this is. Thank you, Creator. Page of Cups to the Queen of Wands. So I'm going to put this back. Let's see if there's anything else that's here. That shit is so crazy to me. And the thing is like when I first got into tarot, I used to watch those karmic readings because I understood, I can understand why I was watching those readings all those years ago, because I wanted to know that the suffering I was going through was actually being seen by the divine. And one of the ways that I think in our human mind we validate that the Most High has seen our suffering is by having us physically watch the person who made us suffer receive suffering. But what type of mental state or what type of mindset do you really want to be in order to have that be your validation? You see what I mean? Excuse me. So I feel here the actual validation that I needed was not to know that anybody who has caused me suffering is going through something terrible. It was for me to move forward and to allow myself to live a very cherished life, an honorable life, a heart-centered life. That was the validation that I needed. So I would say, you know, when I was in the depths of the dark night over the soul, those readings brought me comfort. But by no means should you all live in those readings. Not at all. Okay? There's something very specific here about this Page of Cups. Two of Swords reversed and Page of Cups. I feel here that someone is ready for a truce, or you're ready for a truce. I feel here that's the gist of this energy. You know, like people talk about how there's spiritual warfare going on while also being a part of it. So, you know, how I operate, for me personally, I cannot complain about spiritual warfare while also being someone who is engaging in it. Right? Like, and I'm not talking about when you do stuff that's offensive. Like, you can tell that the energy is shifted and you need to cut, you need to clear, you need to cleanse. That's different. But there are people who I feel like there are just like these topics in tarot land that I want to talk about, because it's like I'm like, who's talking about this honestly? Or are they just pushing out several readings a day about spiritual warfare? The discernment here is, if you don't want to be in spiritual warfare anymore, don't be in it. You can learn how to cut, clear, cleanse, but take your perception of it out of that timeline, out of that reality. And I'm not talking about living in illusions or acting like, you know, spiritual warfare doesn't exist. It is simply something that is not the center point focus of your life. These tarot readers make spiritual warfare the purpose of their life. And, you know, it's like they will like sell products to help you through spiritual warfare. They'll do all of these readings. But remember that as long as you hand over your energy for that tarot reader to read, then you are also entangling into the spiritual warfare that they're reading. So it's a delicate, it's a delicate movement to be in. It's a delicate dance. So somebody here with the Page of Cups really wants to reach out, or somebody really wants to talk. So let's see what's going on here. Thank you, Divine Source One Creator. Can you show me about this Page of Cups energy, Source One? Thank you, Most High. Two of Cups. I heard a meetup. Someone, so I'm trying to figure out if I want to read it from your perspective or from this person who's offering this to you. I'm going to take a wider perspective and just explain the situation here. Someone is receiving a Page of Cups offer here. They want to meet up. I feel like it's not going to be very serious, like, oh, I want to take you out to dinner and propose. It's not that serious, but it's some type of first stage of making peace between the two of you, or just having the two of you feel each other out in each other's presence again. And it could be again, or this could be somebody new, so I'm going to clarify. But I feel here, this is someone who is interested and curious, and they want to know how you feel in person. Two of Cups. It's like, oh, you know what? I'm interested enough in someone to set up a time, to set up a date for us to be playful, lighthearted, to get to know each other. That's what this energy is. Like, hey, I want to get to know each other. I want to get to know you. Show me a bit more, please. Nine of Swords, Queen of Pentacles, Five of Cups, Seven of Cups. Let's see what's going on here. Then we have the Tower and Six of Cups. Can I have one more here next to, then we have the Star. Can I have one more here next to the Two of Cups, please? Three of Cups. Okay. This is what I'm going to tell you, Knight of Swords. There's a Queen of Pentacles energy here. I feel like they're about to be taken out of this energy. They want me to rephrase it. A Queen of Pentacles energy here has kind of been pretty distraught about something that has happened in the past. And it feels unresolved. So what I'm getting here with the Queen of Pentacles, they're a very stable energy. But there's something here where it's like, even when people are very stable, it doesn't mean that they don't have a history or they don't have a past where they went through things. I feel here like there's some type of grace that is happening. Page of Cups, Two of Cups, Three of Cups. I feel here like a Queen of Pentacles is about to find a lot of support. And whatever support it is that they're receiving here, I feel like it helps them to break out of this mold of being afraid that the past is going to repeat itself. There's something here with the Six of Cups and Seven of Cups and Three of Cups here about like gaslighting. It's like there's a stark difference in the energy in the bottom of this grid versus the top of this grid. And I feel here like this is where this energy is headed. But right now, they're overthinking about what has been lost because they're not able to figure out why it happened. And I feel here like this Queen of Pentacles energy is about to be released from this rumination. Because they're going to start to be around different people, different groups of people who make them feel better. Let's get some clarifying cards here. Let's do Joie de Vivre. You know what energy this gives? This gives the energy of someone who took responsibility for something that wasn't even theirs. Okay, let me explain. You know, like when you're around certain groups of people and it may feel like you don't fit in, it can create an anxiety about your self-esteem, about who you are, about I'm hearing your likeness or something. And if you spend enough time around people like that, you start to become confused about what you think of your own self. You start to become confused about the past, how to interpret it, about what was lost. Like, and then all of a sudden, you get a change of pace. You get around new people. And it's like these people, they immediately accept you and who you are. Page of Cups, Two of Cups, Three of Cups, those are friends. This is making friends, meeting new people, enjoying yourself. So I feel here like this Queen of Pentacles energy is about to be taken out of all of these illusions. I feel like she's finally creating closure with the past around lack of acceptance. And I'm also hearing like lack of self-acceptance. Let's see what's here. Thank you, Creator. Show me Page of Cups, please. Yeah, justice. That's what I'm talking about here. Whoever this message is for, the ethers are balancing themselves out. Because I feel like here, there's been some type of belief system that was never yours to begin with. It feels like it was really projected onto you. You know, like when someone says something, or there's something that plays over again and again in someone's mind. I see here you breaking out of that mold, especially with the Justice card here. What I want to tell you is sometimes there are things about the past that you won't be able to figure out why. And I see you making peace with that. I see there being justice for that. If there's something about the past where you're like, it just doesn't make sense, it just doesn't add up, I see like, you know what this is coming across as a bit as well? I see a bit of like justice sensitivity. And I think I saw this recently, and it can happen for people who may be autistic or neurodivergent, where when there's something that doesn't make sense or something doesn't add up, they focus on it, they hyper focus on it to try to get the answers. What I see here is some form of justice taking place where I don't even think you care about getting the answers anymore. You just want to enjoy yourself and enjoy your life and enjoy the company of people who are genuine. Show me a bit more, please. Show me the Two of Cups. These connections, relationships, partnerships, Knight of Wands, yeah. Very positive energy that's coming through. Page of Cups to the Knight of Wands, justice. You see, I feel here like the universe is showing you that history does not always necessarily repeat itself. But I even feel here like this isn't true history. You know what they're showing me? It's like this energy where, you know how sometimes, I don't know, it's just an example, but you know how like when you're younger, maybe like you're in high school or college or I don't know, or just with a friend group or something, and you kind of get labeled with an identity. And so it's like ever since somebody says that you're that type of person, like let's just say like you're a nerd or something, then someone calls you a nerd and you've carried that as pejorative for your entire life, right? Or what I want to say is like for your life up until this point. I see here like it was never that you were a nerd. You just needed to get around people who had similar interests as you. And it's like this happens and then it's like immediately you're like, "Oh, all of that was just bullshit. It was just anxiety. It was gaslighting. It was people being judgmental." I see here the Queen of Pentacles being able to release something, this belief system that has brought them a lot of anxiety, maybe even some grief, confusion about how things of the past just didn't make any sense. And then suddenly this justice arrives and you break through. Okay, that's what I'm seeing here. The star, it's a breakthrough. Show me Three of Cups, please. Yeah, look, three, and then there's the Knight of Swords. This is a lot of here. This is what I'll say as well too, because we have the Wheel of Fortune here at the bottom of the deck. So this is the timeline that you're on. Okay. I see here like you could have some type of history or past where you were hyper focused on being acceptable. And I feel like because of that, it could have led you to places or groups of people who you didn't really align with or who didn't really truly see who you are. And so now I feel like because you're getting rid of this mental turmoil of overthinking to try to make sure that you fit in or overthinking to try to be pleasing towards others. I see you showing up here as very confident in who you're becoming now. That's what the timeline shift is here. And I see so many people, Knight of Wands, Two of Cups, Three of Cups, Knight of Swords. I see a lot of people bringing in admiration, wanting to get to know you, wanting to befriend you. And it's like it washes all of this anxiety away. It actually brings in justice. Show me a bit more here about what this Queen of Pentacles was anxious about. What is all this Nine of Swords, Five of Cups? In some ways, I feel like it could be assuming the worst. Okay, but show me. Nine of Swords, Five of Cups. We have Ace of Coins, but I'm going to keep it over here. Thank you. Six of Coins. They're so funny. Six of Coins, Eight of Coins. This 10 of Wands and the Knight of Coins. I feel here. I feel here like this is the greatest gift that this Queen of Pentacles can give themselves at this time. And I feel like this gift is also, there's reciprocity here where the universe is ready to support it as well. 10 of Wands and Knight of Coins energy is someone who has been carrying so many burdens that are not even their own for a very long time, especially this Queen of Coins. And what's being offered here is an opportunity to create more harmony in their life, where they're able to be surrounded by other people who really want the best for them. I even see here that this Queen of Pentacles, their history of like experiencing loss, anxiety, gaslighting, and all of this, it comes to such a distinct end that all of this admiration and love and support may be like very new to them. Ace of Coins. So what I want to share here for this for this Queen of Pentacles is for her to allow in people giving to her without the fear of loss or without the fear that someone gives and then they're going to take away. That's a burden you've been carrying for way too long, and it didn't even begin with you, and it's not yours to carry anymore. Show me a bit more about this Queen of Pentacles and this anxiety, this energy down here. Thank you. The Magician. Nine of Swords. Three of Swords. To the Two of Cups. And the Lovers at the bottom of the deck. Okay? What they're literally showing here is there are so many people who are coming into your existence with the Wheel of Fortune card that came out here, who are so excited to get to know you, who are very much ready to show you support, to show you kindness, to make space and to make room for you. But the Queen of Coins has actually been stuck in this mindset that relationships bring heartbreak and rumination and uncertainty. And that's because there was this history of that exactly in relationships. Not certain about where you stand, having to, I'm hearing something about like having to overproduce or to like overexpress something to people so that they can show you grace or show you love. You ever like get into I want to say it kind of like this way. You ever notice that like with some people, no matter how much you apologize, it's never enough? Or no matter how much declare something to them, it's never enough? I feel here like this Queen of Pentacles dealt with old people and old relationships who made them feel like what they had to give wasn't enough. When exactly, they're saying exactly, but when what was actually happening was the people they just kept taking. So that's why it felt like to the Queen of Coins that they could never give enough because people would never take enough. So I feel here this Queen of Coins has been manifesting prematurely that if they get into a relationship or they connect with someone, the Two of Cups here, that it's going to end in upset, heartbreak, pain, or that they're just going to be ruminating so much that they will overthink themselves into the cycle of upset, heartbreak, or pain. I see here justice showing up for you, Queen of Coins, because you're ready to release this now. There's a signifier here that this is going to be released, or this is released, with this Ace of Coins coming into you. Okay? That's what I'm receiving here. Death. Very nice. Death in the Two of Coins. Yeah, this comes from a history of being juggled. It comes from a history of having people act like your needs or what you need. I'm hearing like what you need to feel safe, to feel loved, to feel appreciated. I feel like you would share that with people and like they would exploit that. That's what I'm getting with Death and Two of Coins. It's like you tell someone that your love language is acts of service. And so when this person who you love feels like they want to get back at you, they'll stop doing acts of service or they'll use your love language against you. It's like, oh, well, I did this 10%, even though I know you wanted me to do 100%. It's like that. I see here there's a death, there's a permanent ending here to this waffling back and forth about like, is this person good for me or are they not good for me? Are they good for me or are they not good for me? I feel like the justice coming through here is it'll be so clear to you who is good for you. That you're gonna, it's like, I feel like you won't even look over your shoulder back at what has been lost. Because you're going to realize that came to a permanent ending and it was supposed to happen that way. There's something here about like diverted attention, like it's neglect. Thank you. It's neglect. I don't think you realize how used to neglect you've become in relationships. And the spirit guides in the universe, the forces of justice here, they're ready to bring more harmony into your life. And it's going to come through in the form of receiving attention and people being generous with you. I'm hearing, so say yes. Okay. Anything else here? Thank you. Yeah, look, strength. Strength and the star. Yeah. And the Ace of Wands. See, look, this is really beautiful. And then the Chariot. Exactly. And the Fool at the bottom of the deck. So what I'm going to tell you, and then we have the Six of Cups. This is what I'm going to tell you. I want to tell you that I think that your thoughts have made it seem like whatever has happened in the past in the relationships that you've had, the ones that haven't worked out, the ones that feel tumultuous, I feel here like you could have a lot of very negative memories with those people. You could feel like they brought more loss into your life than they brought gain. That's what I feel like is truly happening here. And I think that because that happened on a subconscious level, you've been connecting with people, or you were. I feel like this is past tense with the death energy. You were reaching out or connecting with people who weren't showing up completely for you. Because when you realized in the past that other people were juggling your needs, you felt that, okay, well, if you also juggle your needs and you don't bring up what it is that you want, or whatever it is that you need, then that would be safer for you. And I think that you've matured enough with the strength energy, you've been through enough to realize that self-confidence and self-love is only giving your time and attention to people who meet your needs. Only them. I see you closing out this cycle with a lot of grace. And I feel like you close out this cycle with a lot of grace for yourself and for those people who only half loved you, who only half cared. I see you, give me a second here. I see you being able to make peace with whatever this loss was in the past. And I see you being able to acknowledge, like, not all of the memories were terrible. It's like Page of Cups can be forgiveness, but I feel here like I don't really think you need to practice forgiveness per se. I think that this is more so practicing being content with how it all went down, or with how something happened, or with these people. Just be content and indifferent. Okay. Okay. I mean, if you feel like you want to practice forgiveness for them and for yourself, I think, of course, that'll bring in healing too. But ultimately, what's happening for you here is I'm hearing the great shift. What's happening for you here is a shift. Where you go, where you're wanted, and also where you want to be. There's a lot of like liberation and freedom energy here with the Star, the Ace of Wands, the Chariot, the Fool, strength. You have learned whatever it was that you needed to learn from these half-loved relationships, and also from half-loving your own self. You've learned what you needed to and gained strength of character. And now you move differently. So this is a part of the new chapter and the new cycle for you. Now you move differently, you walk differently, you show up differently in connections, relationships, because you love yourself more and differently now. And because of that, when people love themselves, they're not worried about the past and whoever was in the past getting their karma. I'm going to circle this back to the beginning. When people truly love themselves and they enter into this new cycle, they let that closure speak for itself. And they allow themselves to be worthy of love and appreciation and giving and receiving. Okay? We have the Three of Cups and the Queen of Cups. Yeah, I see you finding like a best friend. I see you here, Queen of Pentacles and the Queen of Coins and the Six of Swords and the King of Swords to the Ace of Swords. I see you here transitioning, excuse me. And in this full energy where you're transitioning into this new baseline of reality, I see you having a group of friends, and within that group of friends, there's one best friend that you have in particular. With the King of Swords and the Ace of Swords, I feel like that's a spirit guide who's coming through to tell you that this is the truth. This is what you're moving into. This is a part of the new peace that you have here. This new peace that's finding you. I just get this feeling like you're going to be in this whole new group of people and it's like everybody is going to like you. And it's this irony here where in the past you wanted everybody to like you, so you were complacent with everyone. You were just catering to them. You were denying your own needs so that you could be liked by everyone. And I'm seeing in the irony here, which is beautiful, and that as soon as you have let that go, now people actually really do like you. You know what I mean? It's not that they didn't like you before, but I hope you understand what I'm trying to say here. Now the irony is you find people who genuinely like you for who you are because you're showing up as truly who you are. So those authentic people are being attracted to you and your authenticity, and you're creating genuine matches. Instead of just trying to be kind to just anyone, people who don't even deserve it, and they just take it from you. I'm happy to see this here for you. I'm happy to see this here. Friendship, appreciation, community, connections. I'm getting this sense of like living life again. And there's something here about like, how do I say? I don't want to say like living life for other people, but it's like this communion type of energy. Like I feel so connected, so accepted. Okay? All right. Thank you, Divine. They said death. The death card came out in the reverse, so I don't think this message is over yet. I'm going to continue to pull, okay? A lot of shuffling needed here. Okay, they said that's good. These two. We have the Queen of Wands again and the Queen of Cups. These two coming out again. These could be two people who are meeting. So show me this here. Show me the dynamic of the connection between this Queen of Rods and Queen of Cups. The Hermit on the fence. Six of Cups. Ace of Swords. Let me ask this question, Divine. What has brought about this change in perspective for the Divine Collective here? Because what they're showing me is seeing the past for what it truly was. You know what's interesting? They're showing me this energy of like, you know, when you get older and then you look back, and I keep getting this like high school or younger self or reminiscing type of energy with the Six of Cups and the Ace of Swords. This is now speaking about reminiscing. You know, like when you look at pictures of yourself from like a decade ago and you're like, look at me, what was I thinking? You know, it's like you look at pictures from yourself from a decade ago and you're like, oh my gosh, I was so this, I was so that. Why was I feeling that way when I was that age? That's what I feel like I'm getting here. Like there's the Hermit on the fence is like there's going to be this realization that you come to when you look into your emotional self, or you're going to have some type of like emotion come up, and you're going to realize that you were always so much more capable, so much more beautiful, confident, so much more empathic than you ever really gave yourself credit for in the past. I see you seeing yourself clearly now in the ways and from the eyes of people who care about you. I feel like in the past, it was very easy for you to see yourself through the eyes of people who were causing abuse or upset or pain. Remember the Nine of Swords and the Three of Swords, anticipating heartbreak, anticipating the worst, anticipating getting hurt. I feel like it was very easy for you to see yourself through their eyes. And you took whatever it was they were seeing you as your identity, and that identity no longer stands. And I'm going to put the Death card in the upright now. You're seeing yourself truly and clearly now. And I see this being reaffirmed by new people being around you, and you being around new people. Thank you all for liking and subscribing. I hope this message brings peace to someone today. Thank you, Creator. Most High is saying, it's done. If there's anything that you have been carrying about what your mother said about you, what that ex-partner said about you, you know, all of those tarot readings that are like, what is this ex thinking about you? What is the word around town about you? You all do know that that is spell crafting for gossip. They're trading your energy for views, money, and gossip. They're monetizing off of the gossip about you. Okay? I feel here like the death energy is coming out twice to say, like, why do you give a shit? That's nothing for you to be focused on. Six of Wands. Thank you, Death Energy. We appreciate the closing of those cycles, and we appreciate sealing and giving those belief systems over to Source so that they can be transmuted into love and compassion for ourselves and for others. Page of Swords, Ten of Wands. And the Nine of Wands reversed. Knight of Pentacles and the Four of Swords on the fence. And then we have, what do we have here? Strength. Five of Swords reversed. I feel here what they're showing me is that here's what I'm going to say. I'm going to say this, okay? Because, this reading is like, even as I shared in the beginning, these readings are fractals of me, and they represent fractals of you. Like, it represents us both, all of us here on this channel. What I'm going to share with you is a statement that someone made to me when I was younger, and I'll never forget it. Wow, this feels emotional. I'll never forget that they said this to me. This person was a parental figure, and they said to me after like years where I experienced abuse, like emotional, like so, all of that. And I remember one late night, they looked at me and they broke down crying, and they said, I treated you the worst because I knew that you would still be there for me. And whoever this message is for, I want you to hear those words and be wise to what that person is actually saying. Because this is the energy that you are moving on from, that I am moving on from too. I feel like I already have. But anyway, sorry. I feel like what they're saying here is that's not a compliment. When that person said that to me, I treated you the worst, I abused you the worst because I knew you would still be around for me. I knew that person did not love me, because that is not love. I say that and I share that experience I had with you because Page of Swords to the 10 of Wands to the 9 of Wands reversed. I feel like you were tested on how much you would take. And I feel here with the death energy, this represents a death to you dealing with people who want to push you past your limits, emotionally or physically or interpersonally, whatever it is, just to see how strong you are. It's done. That part of your life is done. 5 of Swords reversed. Whatever egregore or type of consciousness or entity that was body hopping or jumping, whatever it was, they've been defeated. It's been defeated. And it's done. Congratulations. The Hierophant, yeah. Thank you, Most High Source. On top of death, we have the 2 of Swords reversed. Okay, so I'm hearing Queen of Pentacles, the Fool. Very nice. I'm going to put these cards back, and I want to read a bit more into the death energy because it's still just speaking a bit more to me. I feel here like the death energy is saying, with the 2 of Swords here, like death has come out twice, and in between we have the 2 of Swords. So essentially, they're saying that there's no other outcome besides this coming to an end. I'm not 100% sure of how it's coming to an end, if it's literal like physical unaliving that's happening here. But I feel like the choice that you have made And the steps that you've taken thus far, it cannot come with you, whatever this energy is or whoever they are, because you've already taken the leap of faith into the rebirth process. You've taken the leap of faith into changing yourself, to being somewhere new, to being, I'm hearing like shedding your skin, to shed your skin and to be someone else. Yeah, and how do I say this? To be like the more evolved version of yourself. Okay? It's like you're, what is this? The caterpillar and a butterfly? Metamorphosis. Metamorphosis. Okay? Ace of Swords. That's what you're in right now. The metamorphosis. Anything else, death energy? They said this deck. Anything else about this death energy? You know, I feel like I say this all the time. Honestly, probably like every other read, I end up, maybe every other read or every 2 reads or so. But death energy deserves a lot more love and respect. I feel like people respect death energy, but I feel like it needs a lot more love. Because when things like this in our lives come to a close, we should thank death energy because it took that away from us. It decided to say, you know what, this has gone on long enough. It's time for it to deteriorate and to serve as fertilizer for somebody's new beginning. I have the Hermit here. Show me, please. The Hermit, King of Coins. The Lovers. Seven of Swords. The Empress on top of the Queen of Coins. Beautiful. A pathway has opened up here. 10 of Swords reversed to the 9 of Coins. To the Hierophant. Your spiritual path and the enlightenment path that you're on right now. And I also feel like taking heed, I want to say, taking the role to lead by example on this spiritual pathway has helped you to heal and to find a new sense of freedom and detachment from whatever it was that caused you that trauma, that upset, and that pain. 10 of Swords reverse is pulling those swords out. I'm ready to say that the death energy is here. I'm ready to say that in that death energy that is here, it closes that cycle and it is permanently closed. And I feel here like the divine source has graced you with the ability to continue forward free from them, free from that energy. Not only free, but they said prosperous too. And with you stepping into this Fool energy, this new beginning, it has actually opened up a pathway for a King of Coins to also declare that something needs to come to an end. And it's because the two of you are meant to cross paths and come to each other. So whatever it was that you were dealing with people pleasing or trying to show up as acceptable to people who didn't even give a shit, that's done. And whatever this King of Coins was going through with this Hermit energy, maybe he felt misunderstood, or maybe this is a King of Coins with the 7 of Swords and Lovers, someone who felt like they were alone no matter how close they got to people. So this King of Coins was struggling with trusting people, even their romantic partners, they struggle with trusting them. That's done. So look at how the King and the Queen of Coins here, look at how the two of you have finally closed out what needed to be closed and made the decision to open up a new pathway and to walk on it. Five of Swords reversed. This one? No. Thank you. This one? Thank you. To the 10 of Cups. Look at that. I see you having a family with this person. Eight of Wands. Not only do I see you having a family with this person, I see you having chosen family with this person. And that energy has been coming up. Came up in another read, I think a couple of reads ago, like 2 messages ago. I see here, like, give me a second. I see here, like, you and this Queen of Coins and King of Coins. I see the two of you being a lot more similar than you think at first glance. I see the two of you thinking alike. I see this King of Coins wanting to make you his wife, Empress to the Queen of Coins. I see this King of Coins like very seriously struggling with trying to figure out if the people around him even mean him any good. You know, like when you go to ask a friend for advice and it's like you can't even trust what their advice is because whoever that friend or that person is, you don't even want to live like them. You don't even want to be them. I just see this King of Coins struggling with trusting people who he has loved before and being afraid that a lover is going to turn into an enemy. I see the two of you laying those worries to rest, whatever worries and baggages that you were carrying, you're laying it off on the side of the road and walking down the rest of the road hand in hand. 10 of Cups. I see you leaving the baggage on the side of the road and deciding to get out of the car, hold hands, and to walk the rest of the journey together. That's what I'm seeing here. Ace of Swords. I'm going to close out the message. That's the truth. That's the clarity. Thank you, Creator. Thank you, Divine. I hope that this message has been helpful and brought clarity and peace and tranquility to someone out there. I close out the energy to this reading and I close the portals that I have been peering and looking within and through. Glory. There's one other piece of clarity they want me to share here. I want to bring it back to the beginning where I was affirming to folks, if you didn't see it, go back to the beginning of this video. I want to assure to folks that when you actually spend time in those karmic readings about exes, about karma that they're getting, about all of that, you're actually reinforcing distrust. Think about how much time you will spend or the focus that you're putting on those energies and how it's actually creating a stronger pathway in your brain to mistrust others. That's the last bit of clarity that somebody needed to hear here. Okay? Nonetheless, the two of you do find each other. There's a very strong connection between the two of you. 8 of Cups, 6 of Swords, and the Star. I think that the two of you will very much enjoy living your lives together. I see you traveling here. I see the two of you taking on the world together in some way. There's a bit more that I can read here, but I kind of want to close out the message, but just let me check in with the divine. I'm hearing exactly where you want to go, exactly where you need to be. The two of you have made it over the threshold to find each other. So mote it be and so it is. Ashe. I close out the energy of this reading. I close the portals I have peering and looking within and through. I call my energy back to me detached from any remnants picked up along the way. And I call my energy back to me brilliant, purified, and cleansed. Thank you, Most High Divine Creator of all things, divine angels and archangels for watching over me in all ways, for ensuring that I am prosperous, connected to the divine, purposeful, and loving, and that the universe responds to me and reflects back to me as so. Glory be to the Most High Divine Creator, and blessings upon this beautiful couple. Ashe. Okay, everyone. I'm going to close out the energy of this reading. I hope that this has brought you solace, a sense of support, a sense of feeling seen but not judged. Thank you all for joining me at the Temple of the High Priestess. You can call me Anonnie. I have a lot of information in my description box if you want to learn more, if you want to support the channel. I think I'm going to close personal readings in April. I think I have that in my description box. So if you want a personal reading, there are about 2 more weeks, or maybe about a week or so, for you to send me an email. If you want me to do that for you, I'd be happy to. And so I think that this is going to be the end of the message. Thank you all for joining me at the Temple of the High Priestess, and I will see you in the next one. And y'all be good. Bye. Bye, bye, bye. I'll see you. Bye.